Hey everyone, Jason here with the Gamer Side. This is where I take a break from the publishing nonsense with Phase Shift Games and focus on the gamer side. So this is going to be a game day recap. This past weekend, I did not expect that we were going to have a game day because I was at my family reunion. My father is one of 11 brothers and sisters, and there's hundreds of cousins, and so every 7 to 10 years we were having a family reunion where we get a resort and hundreds of us go and we have a weekend of outdoor activities and horseback riding and family Jeopardy and stuff like that. Great time. And this past weekend was our next family reunion, and I did not expect, I thought this was going to be a week off from gaming. And then what happened was Saturday morning at this resort in New York came and there was tons and tons of rain. It was like torrential downpour. And it was all day. In fact, started Friday night, went all through most of Saturday. Now, most people, of course, would be disappointed about rain while you're at a resort in New York with all these horseback riding and other activities planned. Not so much for introverts like me, who generally like to stay indoors and play games. And so for me, I came prepared for exactly this possibility. I came with games. Now, I came with some heavy hitters, but I mean heavy hitters in a different way. These were not heavy games. These were games that I expected would be well received in a much more casual, mixed audience, family environment. So I did come prepared, and we got a lot of great gaming in. My brother and his wife and kids, and some others came over and joined us at one point, some cousins. So we had a great time and played 3 games, and I'm going to review these games now. All right, so in no particular order. Deep Sea Adventure from Oink Games. Now, this is the Boost version, which is their newest version of Deep Sea Adventure. It adds a slight additional mechanism called the Boost mechanism. But Deep Sea Adventure, it is very popular, and I have an interesting background and history with this game. So I played the original version several times a couple years ago, and I was not sold. Now, first, let me explain the game. So Deep Sea Adventure, it's a shared tank of air. We're all in the submarine trying to dive down and collect treasure from the bottom of the ocean. But we all have, it's a makeshift submarine, low budget, and we all have one tank of air to share. It's completely realistic, by the way. So what's happening? It's a push your luck game where everyone's diving down. It's competitive, by the way. Everyone's diving down, and how far you go on the path, the further from the submarine, you're spending air every turn. And the further you go down, the more air you start spending, because as you collect more and more treasure, that's going to start spending more of your air supply. And if other players are collecting more treasure than you are, they're spending more air from this central pool of air. And so you have to balance, how far down do I want to go? Which treasure, the better treasure are further down the path. Which treasure am I going to collect? And then when am I going to turn around and go back to the sub to hopefully make it back before the air runs out for the round? And that's one of 3 rounds. And if you make it back, then you keep the treasure that you found in that run, and you came back. And other players might get stuck down there. They didn't turn back fast enough, and all the treasure that they got gets dropped and goes to the end of the line. And then the next round, someone might go deeper. Okay. That's the gist of it. It's cute. It's a fun little box. Oink makes great productions. The components are great. My issue at the time, a couple years ago, was, and maybe it was the way it was explained, because it's possible we missed a rule or two. I felt like there was no reason for me to go. I didn't feel the compelling push your luck. I didn't feel like if I push my luck, I will get more. I felt like I would just want to quickly grab anything I could from the first pile, which other people are skipping over to try to get to the better stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll just grab everything I can right now and then turn back really quick. But it's a super popular game. So I'm like, what am I missing? So I didn't love it at the time. I didn't really draw a conclusion if I was right or wrong, and if we were missing a rule or not. I didn't own the game; someone else did. But I never picked up a copy. I was like, okay, that was an interesting experience. I'm not sold, and I'm still not. So now I have my own copy. I picked up this Boost version at Essen last year, and now I've read the rules, and I know that I'm playing everything exactly right. And the boost mechanic is basically you can push your luck a little bit more by spending an extra air. And when you roll your dice to see how far you can move, instead of using 2 of the 3 dice, you choose which 2. Now you get to use all 3 dice, so you can go further. That's it. A little extra air, a little further. And I wasn't sure, okay, might that address what my perceived issues were with the game? And ultimately, I don't think it did. I think it adds another interesting choice, but it didn't really change. Okay, results. When I just played this again this past weekend, in one of the games with 4 people, 3 of my family members, all 4 of us, we tied, 4-way tie, with 0 points. 0, 0, 0, 0. We all went some length down the path and then concluded at some point, oh shoot, we're not going to make it back. There's no way. And we failed. Ran out of air, dropped everything, back to the submarine. Round 2, we're like, okay, now we kind of get it. We got to be more conservative. So we go a little, we make sure that we don't go too far, turn around earlier so that we can make it back to the submarine. Still, nowhere near making it back to the submarine. Then we're like, okay, now we get it. We gotta go fast and turn around fast. And we still did not turn around fast enough to make it back to the submarine. 0, 0, 0, 0. No one made a single point the entire game. Am I doing something drastically wrong with this game? How could we not succeed at getting a single point unless I did what I did years prior, where I just collected the first treasure I land on, maybe go one more turn and then turn back? I'm just not sold. I still think that I'm missing something because this is a really popular, now it looks beautiful, and I'll play it more. I'm not getting rid of it, but I am still not sold. I am confused, and I welcome anyone here. Tell me what you think I might be doing wrong. I read over those rules several times, and I've played it several times. I'm not mentally grasping this game yet. So my current score for this is a 7. 7 being just at the threshold of I'm going to keep it, but it could go up or down. It could go up if I actually really figure it out and say, now I think there's a meaty enough game here that's interesting, that I can get mixed people in and not have them feel like they have no way to actually make points, because as soon as they start having fun going to a certain depth, they've already lost. That's not fun. So it could also go down, and if it goes down because I feel like it's actually broken and just unfun, other than just going 1 or 2 steps and then turning around, which is not interesting or fun, then it's probably going to go down a lot, because I feel like at that point it's just broken. I don't know. For now, a 7 for Deep Sea Adventure. Okay. Mountain Goats. The mere mention of this name to my family at my family reunion, the mere mention of, hey, I brought a game called Mountain Goats. They're like, what? That sounds awesome. And it is. This is from All Play. It's one of these, I don't know what they call it. They have an even smaller small box version line of games now. So I used to call this their small box line. But it is in, I don't know if this is one of their 3-minute teach or 1 minute to, yes, it is. It's one of their 1 minute to teach games. And it really is. So you've got a line of mountain paths numbered 5 through 10. And there's different lengths for the different paths. The lower ones are longer paths. The higher ones are shorter paths. And all you're doing on your turn is rolling 4 dice. and making groups of dice. Each group, you add up all the pips, and if you get to the number 7, then you move your mountain goat on the 7 path, up 1 space towards the top of the mountain. If you make a group of 7 and another group of 6, and maybe you even have enough dice left to do a group of 5, then you move your mountain goat on 5, 6, and 7. If you make 3 groups of 5, and then your last die is under a 5, so ignore that one. It's you just don't get anything for it. But if you have 3 5s, then you move your mountain goat on the 5 path 3 times. Right? Really simple. Just a matter of how you want to group the dice together, how you want to add up those numbers, which paths you're going to go up. And as soon as you get to the top of a path, let's say you get to the top of the 5 path, then there's a token worth 5 points, and you take one of those tokens. If you get to the top of the 10 path, then there's a token worth 10 points, and you take that token. And those are the points on how you win the game. Now, if any other player makes it to the top of the path, they knock you off instantly. Your mountain goat goes to the bottom, to the start, and they get that chip. They get that token for whatever the points were. And that's the entire game. There is a bonus pile of tokens. If you get one of each, if you get a full set of 5 through 10 of the tokens, then you get like the super 15-point bonus. And then the next player to do that, or if you get a second set, it's worth 12, then 9, it declines from there. But that's the entire game. It is so simple to teach. I might not have taught it in a minute, but that's because I'm not a professional teacher of this game. But it is really simple to teach, and it's just a fun vibe. It's just big cards and these cool little wooden mountain goats that are going up. It's pretty to look at. It's fun. People are laughing. You're knocking people off the mountain, getting to the top. It does not overstay its welcome. It's just a great game. Fiddliness? None. It's just super elegant. It's I guess maybe in the having to separate out the tokens by those different numbers, having to lay out the mountain path cards in the correct order, because there is a 5 path and a 6 path and a 7 path, and they have different artwork, and the artwork creates a full path all the way up. So you want to, when you're collapsing the game at the end, you want to pick up the cards in order so that when you unbox it the next time, you lay them out and it's already in the correct order. So basically, this is an elegant game, the opposite of fiddly. And it is I'm giving this one an 8.5. I mean, it's certainly, this is filler, right? This is not going to be your game night game, but this is one I will throw in my bag for a random audience when I want something to just finish the night or start the night or fill in between. Really nice, great game. And then we have Skull. Now, Skull, I believe, has been produced and published by many at this point. The version that I have is from Space Cowboys, which, I mean, it's a great production. I don't have experience with any other versions, so I don't know if they're better or worse. This version seems great. This is possibly the most minimalistic game in my entire collection, because each player, and it can go up to a good number of players, 6, maybe 7, 6. Each player has 4 coasters, and I'm going to call them coasters, meaning like a drink coaster. I'm going to call them coasters because they are round cardboard pieces of cardboard with art on it. And 3 of those 4 are identical. The 4th one has a skull on the back of its piece, and the front is the same as the others. That's it. You get 4 pieces. You also get a tile, which you're going to play your coasters on. You almost don't even need the tile. So let's just talk about the coasters. So this is a not push your luck. This is a bidding and bluffing game. On your turn, you do one of 2 things. You have your hand of coasters. You know which one is the skull, and you will place one of your coasters face down in front of you, or you will bid a number, and then it goes around and other players can outbid you, and it keeps going until somebody bids a final number. And the number that you're bidding is how many coasters on the table can I flip over before I find a skull. Skull is bad. You don't want to hit a skull because that would make you out. You would lose your bid and you would lose one of your 4 coasters. That would like taking a life away. But if you make your bid. So let's say I bid 5. That means I have to flip 5 coasters around the table and not flip a single skull. Now I have to start with all of mine. So if I have 3 coasters that I've played in front of me, they better be the 3 that are not the skull, because I have to flip all of mine over. And if it's one of those is a skull, then I've immediately lost. I would not want to win that bid if I put the skull on the table in front of me. But what I might want to do is bid and hope that someone else outbids me. And this is the bluffing part, right? Where they think that because I bid, I probably didn't play a skull. But I did. And I want them to flip my tiles when they win the bid. And then they'll hit my skull. And then they're out. That's what you want to have happen. So you're either playing a tile face down, a coaster, or you are bidding. And whoever wins the bid then has to flip all of theirs. And then they can say, okay, your top one. Then they can be like, yep, and now I want your next one from the top. And that one gets flipped. And then I want to go over to this player and say, your top one. You always have to start at the top and work your way down. And it's a little psychological, like, they played their skull on the top last time. I don't think they would have done that a second time in a row. That's the entire game. If you win, if you are the high bidder and you successfully flip the correct number, then you have won the round. And if you win 2 rounds, you win the whole game. So, and that's what I said there's a tile, you play your coasters on top of the tile. That's what that tile's for. Basically, you flip that tile over when you win the first time, and it has like a pretty picture of a flower, I think. And then if you win again and your flower side is already up, now you've won the whole game. And that's it. So you go until someone has won 2 rounds. Otherwise, you keep going round and round until there is a winner, or until everyone has lost so many times that they are out of coasters. Because every time you lose a bid, if you bid and you were the highest bidder, but then you flipped a skull, that means you lost, right? You challenged and you lost the challenge. You have to discard one of your coasters. So you have 4. That means you can lose 4 times and then you are out of the game at that point. Usually somebody wins the correct way before everyone's eliminated, except one player. But that would be the other way you win, is if everyone's eliminated but you. Super simple. This is the very definition of a game that you can bring with you to a pub while you're waiting for drinks, or you have drinks, you're waiting for food. This is so casual audience. And it makes for, at first I think people are a little like, what am I? They gotta go through one round, and then they're like, okay. And they might still be skeptical that there's any meaningful choice. And let's be real, it's a lot of luck. I mean, can you really predict what players are gonna do? Not really, but you can't. You have that little psychological, like, you did that twice in a row, what the hell? That's the fun of this game. Because of its simplicity, its elegance, and how much I can get this to the table in mixed audiences at the drop of a hat. Gets an 8.5 for me. Really great game. It's not going to be your main game of the night by any means. It is the very definition of a filler. But it's a great one. And so that is Skull. And that was it for our game day out at the resort in New York. I forget the name of the town we were in, somewhere upstate New York, in the Catskills area. Maybe not upstate, Catskills. Great day. We played Deep Sea Adventure, Mountain Goat, Skull. Had a great time. We played each of them multiple times. I am still very confused about Deep Sea Adventure. So Scott, you're the one who introduced me to this. You love this game. You love Oink. I love Oink in general. But I don't get this. Tell me. Correct me. Teach me. In any case, this has been another episode of The Gamer Side. I'm Jason Maselli. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.